Hey guys, Winter Kills here, and welcome to round 4 from my locals this past weekend. And here we are at Table 1. Winner of this match will be awarded first place, and with it, a deck profile to be uploaded to the channel. I also took a poll a few days ago asking you guys who you thought would be taking the L in this particular matchup, and I believe at about 700 to 800 votes, and a majority of you guys said Dino was going to be taking that fat L this round. So let's see if you guys are correct. Prank Kids going first here, getting started with a copy of Place. You gotta love to see it. Place absolutely fantastic for chain blocking, although not so good for chain blocking, at least going first, because you can't use that link effect on the field spell if your opponent doesn't have any monsters. I also believe there was like a ruling around Place regarding like if you can even use the attack drop effect if an opponent's monster has 0 attack. I don't know the answer to that, but I just know that's been a ruling that's been floating around. So we're going to see polymerization get activated. I think fusing green and red for the Rocket Ride. Place will attempt to activate since he did fusion summon, but it is met with a Ghost Ogre. Not a big issue here. I doubt our Prank Kids player really cares too much about that. Yeah, Ghost Ogre not really the best hand trap against Prank Kids in particular. I guess it could be decent in some situations, but I mean, especially on something like Place, not the overall best play. We're going to see more Prank Kids plays, more shenanigans. I believe linking off with blue, gaining 1,000. Now going to link off Meow Mew and what I believe is green for a copy of Doodle. And I know our Prank Kids player here was not super happy with his performance in this particular match. I believe he said he did misplay a few times here and there. A little bit of a mental, exhaustion kind of thing, I guess. So he said, please go easy on him in the comments. So keep that in mind. But either way, Doodle's going to add Pandemonium. Doodle's also going to tribute itself to add 2 back from the grave. It looks like a Place, or Pranks, rather, was among one of them. Actually using Pranks here to spec out a token to go into a Bow Wow Bark, and we're going to see 2 Roxy's overlaid for a copy of Abyss Dweller. Not a play you really see too much anyways, at least the most common line in Prank Kids. Obviously, they have access to rank 2s, rank 3s, 4s, and 1s, I guess. The most common Ixies monsters you'll see Prank Kids makes are both Totally Awesome and Abyss Dweller. But Abyss Dweller is not a halfback card to be blinding this particular format, especially against Drytron. Yeah, against Tri-Brigade, too, it's got to be pretty good, unless the Tri-Brigade monsters activate in the hand, which I'm surprised I don't actually know the answer to that question. But either way, a Blind Dweller, not so bad. The standby phase, Bow is going to tag back to add what look to be red and green. And now his opponent is under Dweller. But I believe for Dino, actually against Dino, that's going to be pretty huge. Stopping all babies, stopping Misk, pretty solid card to have here. And we're going to see a main phase Feather Duster. Feather Duster not that good in particular against the Prank Kid strategy, which is kind of strange to say because Harpy's Feather Duster is kind of looked at as one of the best back removal cards in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! But in this particular matchup, it's rather lackluster because you cannot use Harpy's Feather Duster in the standby phase. Because it's not a quick effect. So he's just going to be able to easily dodge it by chaining the Pandemonium, getting himself into a washer, and summoning one out here. Looks to be a copy of green. I believe red might have also been fused off as well, since he's now down at 7,000 life points. Life points, actually, like a little side note, it actually took me a long time to edit the life points for this first game. It was just so confusing. I think it might have been because I was like editing very late at night, but like it took me like way longer than it should to get the life points down for this particular game. So yeah, we're gonna see him fuse into Weather Washer, and it looks like he's kind of debating as to whether or not he should use the Weather Washer effect to tag out here, and I guess more so deliberating on what he should be summoning off of it. It looks like he's gonna go for Bow Wow and Doodle. And I think Weather Washer gives it, like there's some sort of protection. Like some Prank Kids monsters you control can't be destroyed by battle. And I think Bow Wow is also in play too, because it tagged out earlier saying all Prank Kids cards I think can't be destroyed by card effects or Prank Kids monsters. But Kaijus are pretty good because they don't either destroy or, by card effect or battle. They just say, here, I'm going to go ahead and tribute you. You're in the graveyard now. Kaiju still to this day single-handedly one of the best forms of removal. We're going to see him normal summon Animador and Archosaur, not use the effect. And well, I guess we know why he didn't use it, because he already has a pill in hand. And probably no good targets to blow up in hand either. And if it was a card to blow up, it won't get its effect because of the Dweller. But Anima's going to slurp up the Dogron. And we're going to see double evolution pill. Bring out none other than Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. He's going to go into the battle phase, send away 2 monsters for a total of 2,000 damage. And now, since that Doodle cannot be destroyed by battle, it's going to be able to be attacked over twice by both Anima, which is at 3,000, and UCT, which is at 35. So he'll take 1,000 from the Anima, and they'll take another 15 from the UCT. I believe our Dino player was a little confused as to why he couldn't kill it by battle. I think when I went back and checked the original audio, he thought he could attack directly. I guess he didn't realize that the Doodle was on the board, but our Prankets player quickly explained, the situation and all that stuff, and, realized that it was just gonna have to attack over it a couple times for a little bit of damage. So a total of 4,500 damage. Not a lot. Definitely still living very, very easily with that. That'll do it for his turn. Passes to Prankets. Normal summons green. He immediately on summon uses UCT, which I think is a good play. If there's one thing you want to stop with Prankets, it's the normal summon. Really, really is the normal summon. If you want to Judgment the normal summon, if you want to book the normal summon, if you want a Bottomless Trap Hole the normal summon, I don't care what it is. It's a good thing to stop, because if they don't have a fusion spell extender, it's going to be really hard for them to continue playing. But now we do see him have that fusion spell. He's got the Pandemonium. It's going to allow him to get into Rocket Ride. Prankets can pretty much always have an extender. They can have like a 1-for-1 an instant fusion, polymerization, or they could have a Pandemonium. But like, you still at the end of the day can't go wrong with hitting a normal summon. Just really strong. But here he did have the extender, which proves to be really, really good. He'll gain 1,000 off blue. And after he fusions for Rocket Ride, linking now for Doodle. It looks like he's going to attempt to burn now again with the red, as he uses Roxy here. Banishes another red to draw one. And summon one. Looks like it's going to go for blue. And or green and blue, or 2 copies of blue. It's very hard to tell on my screen, because sometimes the green one looks like blue, and then sometimes the blue one looks like green. And I think I've said this before, but when I do these commentaries, I have to watch back in a very low resolution, so I can have smooth playback while I do the commentary. But I think he summoned both. I think he summoned both green and blue, because one's level 2, one's level 1. I can at least see that much. So yeah, now he's going to use Rocket and tag out for what looks to be Bow Wow, and we'll see what else he decides to grab here. So Bow Wow and a copy of Red. And it's also amazing to see how much I've actually just come to learn what Prankets do from just commentating over the matches and having to force myself to learn what it is, so I can actually sound like I know what I'm talking about when I do the commentary. So it looks like he's going to tag out for Bow Wow to add back both green, and of course this is all happening during the standby phase of our Dino player's turn. So adding back green and Pranks. He's got red, green, and blue on field. Everything is all set up for a Battle Butler. But Battle Butler is only going to be so good against Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. He's going to be able to Book a Moon everything. Of course, he can still activate Pandemonium even if the cards are face down. Doesn't make too big of a difference. But we'll see what he ends up doing here. Of course, he could go right into the battle phase, and I think that's what he's going to try to do here. It's hence why the sudden urge to chain Pandemonium, or else because you can only use Pandemonium in the main phase. And it's going to bring out Battle Butler. He's going to gain another 1,000, and I think he burned for another 500 as well, because you have to use red, green, and blue for Battle Butler. So his opponent already down to 6,000, and he's already back up to 7,500. And it looks like, still in main phase. Kumungus goes right over top of the Battle Butler. Kaiju's really got to be a pain in the neck for our Prankets player right now. Now going to the battle phase, swinging over for 11, setting for 1,000, and then tacking over for 15 over top of the Doodle. And it looks like that will Doodle do it for his turn. Hey, you see what I did there? And Prankets getting started with a copy of Place, which is actually going to be really good here since he does have a monster on board, so if he wants to chain block, he can. But, you know what I said earlier, one Book of Moon on the normal summon is very, very strong. And I don't think he added back a Pandemonium off of that Bow Wow from the previous turn. I don't think he might not either had a target engraved, like the card to add back, or you know, he might have already had one, but it looks like he doesn't, because he's just going to set one monster and go right to the end phase and use Pranks, because that would have been a great way to dodge the UCT is by having a Pandemonium or some sort of fusion spell. So looks like he's not going to bother playing into it, although like you could still play into it, because he just has to pop a card in his hand, and that's at least one less card for him to work with next turn. But yeah, either way, I don't think it makes too. Yeah, he could have technically done it, but you know, it is what it is. He goes battle phase, sends the green for 1,000, and passes. Luckily, our Dino player isn't drawing too well. Well, at least, you know, if you're the Prankids player, luckily he's not drawing so well, because there are tons of top decks in that deck. You draw Fossil Dig, Oviraptor, Double Evolution Pill, especially now that he's got a Kaiju engraved. Pankratops too is another one. So many good cards that can just instantly jumpstart everything, because he does have a Dino and a non-Dino engraved, because Dogoron is importantly a Dino and also happens to be a Kaiju. So it looks like we're going to see him use Pranks, pitching blue, summoning a token, activating Monster Reborn, and we'll see what he decides to bring out here. It's going to be a copy of Doodle Doo. And he's going to link Doodle Doo and the token for what exactly? I'm unsure. Okay, Predaplant Verte Anaconda just has just enough life points here to use it. He'll pay 2,000. It's going to drop him down to 900, sending Thunder Dragon Fusion. Not only is Thunder Dragon Fusion so incredible for this deck because it can get you a search the following turn, but it recycles, you know, a decent little size here in your back of the deck and gets you access to your best boss monster. But we'll see how it fares against the UCT. Of course, Place is going to activate because he did Fusion Summon, boosting all monster he controls by 500. So he's got a 1,000 attack, Anaconda, and a 3,500 Butler. And we'll see just what else he is going to do here. The only downside, I guess, about Thunder Dragon Fusion is, unlike Polymerization, he will not be able to get the effects of the kids that he used for the Fusion. But it looks like Battle Butler used this effect, and it successfully resolves. Don't think there's any point in chaining the UCT there. And he does have an Ash. I'm not sure exactly for what. But he does use an Ash, maybe on Battle Butler's graveyard effect. Yeah, we're going to see him use Place now, putting back one to the extra deck, a couple back to the main deck. And he'll draw one in the end phase, pass it over to our Dino player. Did he draw the Absolute Stones? Let's find out. He's banishing 2, UCT and Dogoran for, boom, you guessed it, another UCT. And that actually just seals the game. Wow, see, one top deck away. What did I tell you? So, as we head into game 2, of course, a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. They just came out with some amazing, absolutely fire sleeves for double sleeving Yu-Gi-Oh cards or standard size sleeves, guys. Check them out. The border on these cards or on these sleeves looks so incredibly good. I posted a picture to my Twitter. Check them out. You can get them for 10% off using my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout, alongside all their other products. And if you guys are shopping on TCG Player, please do not forget to use my affiliate link down below. If you shop and check out using that link, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back into the channel and helps out a ton. All right, back to the game. And one thing in general, I've been getting real good at saying that TCG player line, man. I could say it in record time. Because I try to say it as quickly as I possibly can. But either way, we're back to the game here. And yeah, successful Prankids plays all around here. Looks like going for Doodle, adding copy of Pranks. Green is on board. It looks like he's already gone through red and green. Or not red, yellow and green. Blue, yellow, blue, and green. And now going for Rocket, fusing with what looks to be a Doodle. Rocket Ride getting boosted by 1,000 thanks to Place. Looks like trying to send red, or summon red here off the green, rather, because he's already used blue, he's already used yellow, and I think now he's using green, or some manner of that. Going for a copy of red now. Maybe a copy of red. Looks like, yeah, going for a copy of red. And then using the Rocket Ride, tributing off itself to go ahead and summon 2 back from the grave. Looking at Doodle and what else does he want to go for here? I mean, Dweller, we saw, was a very good card game 1, but it wasn't ultimately enough because it was outed very easily with the UCT. And it looks like he's going to bring back, I think that is a yellow alongside a Doodle off of the Rocket. And now using Doodle to get back Pandemonium and the blue. So yeah, I think he used all the prank names this turn. I believe that's how the Pandemonium. Well, no, he got the Pandemonium in the grave. I think by fusing for Rocket Ride, or unless he had a polymerization. Yeah, he did have a poly. Okay. Yeah. Now linking for Bow Wow and getting the effect of red off. The only one he hasn't used yet. Okay, because yeah, now his opponent's at 75. Using red to get out another yellow so he can go into a Dweller yet again. I mean, it worked really good for a couple turns against it. Well, for the one turn that he had it up. Game 1, I mean, in theory, it's also just an incredible card against the Dino deck. Turns off a large portion of the cards. And let's just hope, he doesn't have the cards immediately to out it. UCT is an incredibly strong card. And that's the only way I think this board is going to get broken is by some combination of UCT and Miscellaneousaurus. But we'll see if that's possible. Also, Kaijus could do very well. Battle Butler, very, very susceptible to Kaijus. So standby phase, we're going to see Dweller, maybe even a draw phase Dweller, standby phase. Now we're seeing Bow Wow to add back 2, fueling up the Pandemonium. Has plenty of cards in hand. I think I saw an Ash as well. So our Prankins player has to be in a really, really solid position now, feeling really, really good about where he's at. And we'll see what exactly our Dino player is going to start with. Pankratops, my goodness. The one of in the 46 card deck. If you guys want to see the Dino player's profile, I'll leave a link to it up in the top right because he did get first place the previous week. Yeah, Pankratops starting off and just immediately shotgunning the Pankratops. I mean, I respect it. Just clearing the place. I mean, usually you see people maybe try to hit one of his back row, like hit the Pandemonium, force it out early, especially if he's got a Kaiju in hand and he just falls right into it. I mean, he did okay, so he does have miss, but he has Call by the Grave. That's going to be pretty huge. Normal summon Oviraptor. And it looks like that will go through. You really don't want to Ash the Oviraptor unless you feel like you absolutely need to. Because, again, ashing the babies is a lot better. Ashing Miskin Grave, but Dweller's already doing the job at shutting those down. So, I guess saving the Ash or Double Evolution Pill would also actually be really good, too. Especially in this case, when you already have Dweller working in your favor, I guess, is what I would say. So, looks like we're going to see a Gold Sarcophagus, of course, banishing the Giant Rex. Now, we're going to see him chain Pandemonium in response to the effect of Giant Rex. We're going to see green, red, and blue activate here, all in a chain. And we're going to see, I think, probably a Chain Link for a Battle Butler as well. You might as well do that. Chain Link, block all your stuff, and also get a board wipe. And he gets to tribute off or banish the Meow Mew engrave instead of tributing off the Butler. So board wipe, stopping a potential Dolka or a Logia. You got a board wipe there. I think that was definitely the move. And it looks like he summoned out 2 copies of blue and a green. And yeah, probably green summoning blue, red summoning blue, and then blue summoning the green. At least that's how I'm seeing it. And now we know he has Double Evolution Pill. We don't know he has Double Evolution Pill. We know he has UCT, which is actually live because there are plenty of dinos in the grave. I think 2 to be exact, maybe even 3. And if UCT hits the board, it's going to be very, very fat in terms of damage. So we're going to see UCT hit the field. And our Dino player having 2 cards left in hand. And we're going to see him attempt to, UCT. Well, he's going to Butler, and then UCT's going to chain, destroying an Archosaur in hand, and he's going to Dark Hole everything after that. So the Prankins board still gets cleared. And that does it for our Dino player's turn. Starting with Thunder Dragon Fusion, which he realizes he cannot activate because I think he's only on 1 Butler. Which I don't think is super outlandish. I think most builds probably at most only play 1. But it's an easy enough fix for sure. Just by going for right to the end phase. I mean, he does have to give his turn basically, but, it puts his opponent on a clock. He is going to recycle 3. Battle Butler included off the pranks. Drawing 1 looks like he drew in a droll. Our Dino player top decked a Fossil Dig, and I think that is the only time it's okay to Ash a Fossil Dig. And then, Dino passes, having no cards in hand. Now going to use that Thunder Dragon Fusion on our Prankets player's turn. Recycling 3 back to the deck, going for Butler, which is still not enough for a game. But he's going to get in for 3,000. It's going to drop him down to 7. Going to put him on a 2-turn clock right now. He's got to put something on board or else he's going to lose by damage and face pranks. Recycle 3, draw 1. Slowly putting that engine back into the deck and getting more advantage for it. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. There's Ash Blossom. No thank you. And it looks like our Dino player sees the writing on the wall. And we're heading into a Game 3 situation. Could go either way. Let's see again if you guys were right. Also, want to remind to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Daily uploads here, a unique series, all that good stuff. Please toss the channel a subscription. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers as soon as we possibly can. It's the next big milestone, and every little bit of support is greatly appreciated. So yeah, polymerization, getting things started here for our Prankets player. After our Dino player has a very, very unfortunate turn of basically a T set. One of them is a call by, though. It's going to hit the green, which is kind of nice. I think it's probably one of the better ones to hit because it can Foolish Burial a spell or any Prankets spell or trap to the grave for, Doodle or Bow Wow to be able to add back. So that's basically him denying that card to get. But now he's going to use the yellow, banishing a Veiler to draw 1 and summon 1. Now we're going to see Rocket tag out. It's going to summon out, looks like blue and red. And he's going to overlay 2 blues for Totally Awesome. Okay, so Totally Awesome is going to be huge here. Really, really solid Omni Negate, which, Prankets, I think, is already good enough as is, but the fact that they can access something like Toad and Dweller just makes it so much better. He's going to go ahead and link now for Bow Wow. Thunder Dragon Fusion. No Thunder Dragon Fusion. We're going to see a Monster Born brings back Doodle, and Bow Wow is pointing to it, so that is a 3K Doodle. Bow Wow swings in, clears the baby. 3K from Doodle, and 22 from the Toad, dropping him down to 2,300. Definitely on a 1-turn clock at this point. If he cannot put anything up on the board, using Doodle to add back 2, passes turn. And he's going to draw, and I think probably drew into a Gold Sarcophagus, activating the Gold Sarc. And banishing Giant Rex. And summoning Giant Rex, no reason to negate that. Normal summoning Giant Rex. Going for a rank 4. This actually could get out of hand pretty quickly here for pranks. And let's see what he's going to go into. He's going to go into Dolka, which is at 2,300. Can get over the Toad. That actually could be huge, but hey, hang on a minute. Going for Silent Honor Arc. And just falling right into the Toad. Tries to imperm, but then quickly realizes he can't imperm it because Toad tributes for cost. I'm not sure. I mean, he had double option, he had the Ash. I'm not sure why he went for that. Why not just go for the Dolka? I don't get it. Or why not just start with the Imperm? Can anybody explain? I mean, he didn't have a way to use Pill either way. I don't know. Prankets taking it 2-1. If you guys want to see more of my videos, click on either ones popping up on the bottom of the screen right now. And I also want to give a shout out to our Divine level channel members there, Cadillacs84 and Pony Stark. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your extremely generous support of this channel.